Squid Game Season 3 has just dropped, and fair warning, this video will be packed with spoilers. We're diving deep into the most jaw-dropping, emotional, and brutal character deaths of the season. This one pulled no punches, delivering wild twists and heartbreak in equal measure. If you've already watched the season, drop your thoughts in the comment section, because we're breaking down every major death, starting with player 120, aka Hunju. In Game 4, Hide and Seek, players were divided into red and blue teams. Red team members were given knives and instructed to kill a blue team player to advance. Meanwhile, blue team players could either find the exit or survive until time ran out. Player 120 teamed up with player 149 and player 222. Early in the game, they were approached by player 226, who found an injured Junhee, player 222, at the bottom of a staircase and tried to bargain with Hyunju to let him eliminate her or player 1149. Hyunju refused and ended up stabbing player 226 to protect her teammates, gaining an extra knife in the process. The trio had all the keys needed to open locked doors and found temporary shelter to recover, especially Junhee, who was injured and went into labor. Yes, she gave birth right there in the middle of the game. While they were resting, player 202 ambushed them, but Hyunju managed to fight him off and kill him. She sustained injuries during the struggle, but found the exit, using their collected keys to open it. In a heroic move, she went back to guide her team out. But before they could make the escape, Hyunju was stabbed in the back by player 333, aka MG Coin. He didn't realize she had been helping Junhee and mistook her for a threat. With that, Hyunju became the first key player to die. And it marked the beginning of MG Coin's dark spiral. Despite having already passed the game, he and Namgyu chose to keep eliminating players to increase the prize pool, an action that not only ended Hunju's life, but also destroyed whatever was left of his relationship with Junhee. That same decision led to more chaos. Namgyu mistakenly left Thanos' drug necklace with one of their victims. Minsu, a red team player, found it and, unable to bring himself to kill anyone sober, took one of the pills. Under the influence, he encountered the Shaman, who had been tricked and locked out of the exit by player 100. Hallucinating that the Shaman was Namgyu, who had killed Sami in Season 2, Minsu snapped and stabbed her. This made the Shaman the second key character death of the season, another tragic casualty of the games, and Minsu's drug-induced delusion. Next up was Dae Ho, aka player 388. Ever since Guihun discovered that Dae Ho was the reason Revolt participants weren't receiving their magazines, there was visible tension. It all came to a head in the lead-up to Game 4, when the corpses of Revolt participants, including Jungbei, were displayed. Dae Ho cracked during team selection and lashed out at Guihun, blaming him for the fallout. In their final showdown, Guihun cornered Dae Ho, who admitted he had lied about everything: his military background, the tattoo, all of it. After a scuffle, Guihun overpowered and choked Dae Ho to death. Dae Ho's final words, "It's your fault," pushed Guihun to a breaking point. He even tried, but the guards intervened. Dae Ho became the third major character to fall. Then came one of the season's most emotional moments. Junhee, player 22, player 149, and her newborn reached the exit, only to be stopped by Young-sik, player 007, player 149's son. Desperate to survive, he tried to kill Junhee, apologizing before the act. But in a shocking twist, his mother stabbed him from behind to save the others. Time ran out, eliminating player 007. He shared a final embrace with his mother before the guards killed him in front of her. This was the fourth major death, and by far one of the most heartbreaking. 110 players were eliminated during this brutal episode alone. Back in the dorms, player 149 opened up to Guihun, who was still delirious and handcuffed. She told him about Young-sik's troubled past and her own guilt over rejecting him as a child. When Young-sik attempted pills, she had saved him, but in the end, it was she who ended his life. Her emotional confession shook Guihun out of his stupor. She begged him to protect Junhee and her baby. The next morning, the guards brought in a coffin. Player 149 had eliminated herself, consumed by guilt. This marked the fifth key character death and gave Guihun the emotional jolt he needed to fully commit to the game. Game 5 was jump rope, and Namgyu was desperate without his drugs. Minsu, now a completely changed man, baited him with the empty drug necklace, forcing Namgyu to jump first. He reached the necklace, opened it, and realized it was empty. Enraged, distracted, and disoriented, Namgyu was caught by the jump rope. He became the 6th major death of the season. Guihun, still carrying Junhee's baby, was the first to finish the game. He intended to return for Junhee, but the platform was too crowded. After a brief conflict with player 096, who tried to push others off the finish line, Guihun found a clear path back. But Junhee stopped him. There was only 1 minute left. And jumped to her death. Her sacrifice ensured her baby's survival. Junhee was the 7th key character to fall. But the VIPs made a surprising call. The baby would take her place, remaining in the game as a living symbol of hope or cruelty, depending on your point of view. In the final game, Squid Game, 9 players remained, including the baby. The rules: 3 platforms, and at least 1 player had to be eliminated per platform to progress. First, the group unanimously chose to eliminate Minsu. MG Coin impaled him with a pole. In his final hallucination, Minsu saw Sami taking his hand. This marked the 8th key death. At the second platform, the group tried to sacrifice the baby. Since Guihun was carrying her, it meant eliminating him too. They failed, and chaos broke out. They beat up player 036 to make him the sacrificial lamb, but Guihun resisted, sparking a fight. Eventually, all players except MG Coin 333, player 100, and player 036 were eliminated. MG Coin then pushed player 100 to his death and left 036 broken and bleeding. Refusing to be a pawn, player 036 eliminated himself, leaving just MG Coin, Guihun, and the baby. MG Coin demanded Guihun hand over the baby. Guihun complied, but then retrieved his knife and jumped to confront MG Coin. They wrestled on the edge of the platform. MG Coin clung to Guihun's jacket as he dangled over the abyss, but the jacket tore and MG Coin plummeted to his death. Guihun climbed back, thinking the game was over. But since the platform's button was never pressed, it wasn't. One more had to die. Guihun looked at the baby, then made the ultimate choice. Facing the VIPs and the frontman, he declared, "We are not horses. We are human," and leapt off the platform. With that, Guihun became the final key player to fall, making Baby 222 the sole survivor of Squid Game Season 3. Season 3 was a roller coaster of betrayal, sacrifice, and broken humanity. The deaths weren't just shocking, they were meaningful. Every loss chipped away at the characters and the viewers alike. From Hunju's bravery to Guihun's ultimate sacrifice, this season wasn't just about who survived, but what it cost. Let us know which death hit you the hardest, what you think the baby's survival means for the future, and whether you believe anyone truly wins the Squid Game.